in the spiritual world. Would you like to learn more about it? Join us to study and learn together about this and many other topics.
Blue crystal eyes, colors of the sky, gray bushy beard, Santa's look alike. Shine on your brothers on earth, suffering, living joy, or in pain. Blue crystal eyes, colors of the sky, gray bushy beard, Santa's look alike. Shine on your brothers on earth, suffering, living joy, or in pain. They say Jesus is apostle of the good. Receive our prayers and also our heart. They say Jesus is apostle of the light. Place our pain at the feet of Jesus Christ. When life lends a hand, it's time to open up your heart. It's time to love one another. It's time to take part. Vibrate always, loving and serving everyone. Vibrate always, loving and serving everyone. When we give our heart in charity, our lives are transforming into songs. Our dream become reality. And we enjoy Jesus for eternity. Vibrate always, loving and serving everyone. Vibrate always, loving and serving everyone. When we give our heart in charity, our lives are transforming into songs. Our dream become reality. And we join Jesus for eternity. Source of love that radiates, warming up our cold nights, support and comfort, support and comfort. cascades flow down the mountain, calling the children of earth with love in their hearts, with love in their hearts. My soul never loses hope, because your love always teach me the solution lies in our core. The solution lies in our core. Oh, my mother Zephyrina, harvest of wonderful blessings. Make your small son a good Christian. Make your small son a good Christian.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to our public meeting. We thank everyone for joining us tonight. Before we start, we would like to share a couple of announcements. We ask you to turn off your phone notifications and find a quiet place to stay during this moment if possible. Our meeting will have a 30 minutes presentation followed by Q&A. Following the presentation, we will have a spiritual treatment with passes and magnetized water. Set aside a container with water to be we have no audio, but I can talk about this video. It's a special invitation that we have for who wants to learn more about Spiritism. Last Saturday, February 5th, we started a free and online course, Get to Know to Spiritism, and it was an introduction class. And if you want to learn more, join us, and you still can do your registration. And this Saturday, February 12th, will be the first class. So you have time to do your registration and join us, okay? And we also would like to invite everyone to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube from Spiritism Canada and the Spiritism Group Path of Life. And now I invite everyone for our opening prayer. Master Jesus, we would like to thank you for the opportunity to be here this night, one more Tuesday, and we thank you for everything you have done for us. We thank you for our health, our lives, our family, our friends, everyone. And we ask you your protection and your inspiration for all the situations of our lives. And may everyone can follow your steps and remember that you is the way. And we thank you and we ask your protection for our friend who is going to speak to us tonight. And may we finish this talk better than we started. So be it. The topic of today's meeting, is the chapter 4. No one can see the kingdom of God unless they are born again. Items 12 to 17, Reincarnation in the Old Testament. And it will be facilitated by our brother Rod from Ottawa. Our meeting is being transmitted through Facebook and YouTube, and everyone is welcome to write comments and questions in the chat, and we will address the questions at the end of the talk. So now I invite our speaker. Welcome, Rod.
Oh, hello, Marceli. How are you today?
I'm fine. I'm great, actually.
Amazing. Yeah,
okay,
thank you.
Nice to see you, and let's talk.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Just one second. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Marceli. Just 1 second. Just to get prepared here. Yes. Once again, I'm talking to you from Ottawa, Canada, and I hope you have a great day today. And this will be another opportunity to talk about the gospel according to Spiritism. As our friend Marcelo said, today will be the chapter 4. No one can see the kingdom of God unless they are born again. And I will be talking about the items 12 to 17, reincarnation in the Old Testament. In reincarnation, it's a great topic to talk because I can say that reincarnation is the key of to understand not only the gospel teachings, but also a little bit more about ourselves, about our family, and our life. And I will start this talking with the item 12, which brings to us a quote from the prophet Isaiah, when he said, "Those of your people who have been made to die shall live again. Those who have been slain around me shall live again." And here we start seeing these teachings, this talking of him, when he's saying they will live again. The prophet had intended to speak of the spiritual, if the prophet had intended to speak about the spiritual life, he's not say will live again, right? He will say still live. It means he was trying to say to us that shall live again is clear in showing us the option of a new life, a new incarnate life, because otherwise there is not make sense saying the spiritual life will be interrupted for some time, right? And then we have the prophet Job saying, "But when a man has died once, when his body separate from his spirit has been consumed, what does he become? Having died once, can he live again? In this war in which I find myself every day of my life, I wait for my transformation to come." And this was translated by Louis Isaac Lannister of the Sassy, a priest of Porto Royal, and also a theologian and French humanist. And this translation is showing us the declaration of Job about the separation of the body and the spirit, and also showing us that body is consumed, right? And here we also have the same topic being translated by different people. One of them is Jean Frederick Osterwald, a Protestant from Switzerland, saying, when a man dies, he loses all his strength and expires. Afterward, where is he? If a man dies, will he live again? Will I wait all days of my struggle until that one and with some kind of transformation comes to me? And here, again, the idea about dying and living again is part of the question, right? There was that knowledge about the possibility of reincarnation very clear here. And from the Greek church, when a man has died, he lives forever. The days of my earthly existence ending, I will wait, because to it I shall return. And again, the idea about returning to the earthly life is a state. The principle of the plurality of existence is clearly expressed in these three versions. Otherwise, we cannot be assumed that Job wanted to speak of regeneration through the waters of baptism, which he, of course, did not know about at that time. But when a man has died once, could he live again? The idea of dying once and living again implies dying and live again several times. If he died once and live again, every time we can have a new life. Every time we can have a reincarnation. And why is that? We will discuss a little bit further on this presentation. The Greek church version is even more explicit, if that is possible. The days of my earthly existence ending, I will wait, because to it I shall return. And this we can imply that understanding about return to the earthly existence. It means reincarnate. There is no doubt, according to Allan Kardec, that under the name of resurrection, the principle of reincarnation, and emphasize on that, was one of the fundamental beliefs of the Jews, that it was confirmed by Jesus and the prophets formally. And here, with this knowledge, we can say understanding the reincarnation and accepting that is also part of the accepting the prophets and Jesus' teachings. In speaking about the Jews, I'm brought in here the Bahir, also called the Book of Brightness. They have a passage there about the circle of reincarnation, linking it to a vintner who plants grapes to become, and that grapes become sour. Disappointed, he try again and again. And then finally, we have this question: how many times must he go through the process? And the answer is clear: up to 1,000 generations. Thus, it is with the soul, which accrues merit or not over the course of countless lifetimes. And here we have the idea, clear idea about reincarnations with the Jews. But before that, we also have Socrates, who brought to us this quote: I'm confident that there truly is such a thing as living again, and that in that the living spring from the death. We also have Pythagoras claimed he could remember his past lives, and Plato presented detailed accounts of reincarnation in his major works. Well, I like to say there are like doing the preparation for this presentation, I found so many different interpretations about reincarnation, resurrection, and I'm not here to change your ideas. And this is something I really like about the Spiritism teachings, because it's not only about religion, it's also a philosophy and science. And then questioning, it's a good, because when we have questions, we open our life to new possibilities. It's a first step to solving problems, because questioning also gives us ideas. And with new ideas, we can become more engaged, changing our lives and make more fulfilled and happier. And the most important of all these teachings from the spirits is that we can rethink our life in another perspective. On the item 17, we have that. However, to this authority that arises from the religion's point of view is added the philosophical point of view of proofs that result from observing facts. Again, nowadays, the times are hard because we lost certain possibilities of dialogue. And with dialogue, we have opportunity to assume different opinions and versions and ideas, accepting that we are not the same, but we can add different opinions and versions. Thinking about it, without the principle of pre-existence of the soul and the plurality of existence, most of the maxims in the gospel are unintelligible. This principle, as I said before, is the key, not only for the Spiritism teachings, but also to restore their true meaning. All the gospel, or many of the passages from Jesus can be much better understood if you include the idea about the plurality of existence. I'd like to show you a small part of a video. This video is about the case of Barbro Carlin. Barbro Carlin was born in Sweden in 1954. And with about 2 years old, she starts saying to her mom and father that her name was not Barbro, it was in fact Annie. This is a very small part of a documentary from the History Channel, just to show us a little bit about the idea of reincarnation in many different perspectives.
Barbara was born 9 years after Anne Frank died. When Barbara was a little child and said, "My name is Anna Frank," she had spontaneous memories of her past life as Anne Frank. At the time, her parents didn't even know who Anne Frank was, because the diary of Anne Frank was not yet published, and they thought she was making this all up. What makes her case compelling is not that she has the same facial features as Anne Frank, but she had memories from childhood, and by the time she was 10, her parents took her to Amsterdam, and the father wanted to go see the Anne Frank Museum. Barbara said, "We don't need a cab, it's right near here." And they said, "How can you possibly know? You've never been here." Somehow Barbara went straight to the Anne Frank house, looked at a wall and said, Mommy, look, the pictures, movie stars are still on the wall. And her mother looked at the wall and said, Barbara, there's nothing there. And the tour guide said, actually, the pictures that Anne Frank had clipped out of magazines of movie stars had been on that wall. That was the first time her parents realized her past life memories were real, or that her reported memories were not fantasies. And Barbara became a childhood writing prodigy, just like Anne Frank had her first book published at age 12.
Reincarnation is the return of a soul or spirit to the corporal life, but in another body nearly formed for it and having nothing in common with the old one. This is the concept of reincarnation from the spiritual teachings. There is no need of any resemblance between both bodies. Once every new body, every new reincarnation is one opportunity for that spirit to learn and also deal with unfinished business. And maybe that new body has a specific disease or characteristic who will help that life be a source of life, but not under the material idea, but under the spiritual idea. And sometimes our body can bring us a lot of material problems, but also that problems are the solution in thinking about long life, the spiritual life, the eternal life. Reincarnation is when one wants to go from the effects to the cause, emerges as an absolute necessity, a condition inherent to humanity. Only the doctrine of reincarnation can tell human beings where they came from, where they are going, and why they are on earth, and justify all the anomalies and all apparent injustice that life presents. See, we can tell that we are all different. Even inside our family, we are not the same. We have different backgrounds and culture. And reincarnation can explain that. Why are there the poor and the rich? Why are there the intelligent and the ignorant? The health and the will? And the strong and the weak? Why we are so different? Why we have people who born here in Canada with such a great opportunity on their life, and other people born in different countries with all difficulties? Why some people born and live like days in just few years, and another people live 100 years, 50 years? Why you have so different situations? And another important question, why are we born in a specific group, like in that specific family? Why we have these connections? They are randomly, or they are part of a process of reincarnation who will help us to solve past life situations. Some people don't like the idea about reincarnations because they think that reincarnation will destroy the family ties. But actually it's opposite. Family ties are not destroyed by reincarnation. On the contrary, they are strengthened and become tighter. And why is that? Because every new life we live connect us with more and more people. And that boundaries we broke make us actually a family tied by spiritual ties. And we feel that today, right? Because sometimes we met people for a few moments, we feel they are part of our life for a long, long time. We have all that connection with them. I'm bringing here another short video from Dr. Brian Leslie West. Dr. West is an American psychiatrist and hypnotherapist. And this is a conversation he has with Oprah Winfrey about one of his patients called Catherine. Through Catherine and through Catherine hypnosis, he discovered a possibility of past lives and reincarnation. And during this conversation with Oprah, he was explaining to her how Catherine, on the moment of consultation, she was seeing his father and his son on that space. Let's hear about it.
Thinking, what is this? How does she know this? Because he never had an obituary. It's not only before the internet. There's no place to look it up. There's no obituary. It's not written down. Our best friends didn't know these details. And then she said, your son is with him. He's here too. He's very tiny, shining brightly. And his heart is important also because it's turned around backwards. And she went into why he died. Medical details. That was the son, my first child, who died in 1971. This is happening around 1981.
This was a son who had lived 23 days.
Yes, she's telling me about him and the very rare congenital heart deformity. She's describing it and giving me other details. And that was the epiphany for me. That was the moment I knew.
Because you knew nobody knew about that.
No.
You and your wife had kept that.
We had, our relatives didn't know, our best friends didn't know. You can't look that up, you can't Google it. There's
Yes.
no article. And I knew then, knowing her after a year and a half of therapy, I remember thinking, if she's right about these things about my father and my son, could it also be about past lives and reincarnation and life after death and the existence of the soul and all of us getting reunited again and again and again? And that was the moment when it just all shifted for me for good. Because before that, I was like, push, but it was intellectual still. Imagination doesn't heal and cure symptoms. But now it was personal. She knew my father, she knew my son, she's getting messages. And I asked her, where are you getting this from? And she described, and she was listening, responding to spiritual beings.
After seeing Dr. West and that video and all these teachings, I think the most important message for today is understand the reincarnation is not only a possibility, but it's also a reality. And this concept is not only bringing us the idea of real justice of God, but also hope. Because with reincarnation and the progress that results from it, all those who have loved one another meet again on earth and in space. Imagine that situation about those, all of us probably, who have lost someone, who had, like, imagine a mother who lost her child. And without the hope of the spiritual life, without the understanding about reincarnation, how hard is to face the destiny, how hard is to face the life. And then, with this knowledge from the spirits and teachings, we are all gravitating together to reach God. Those who fall along the way delay their advancement. It means it's not because we have the reincarnation we can spare our life. We need to use it in the best way possible, following the divine rules as Jesus brought to us, right? Following the gospel. But even though for that who is not following it, even though who is missing their opportunities for this life, they have the hope for the next one. They can learn from their mistakes. They can fix unfinished business. They can reconnect with those who they commit mistakes. They create problems. And then advance to the happiness. Always. And this is great because with this concept, we can understand much better the divine ideas for us. And then we reach the teachings about reincarnation, saying, through reincarnation on the same globe, God has willed that the same spirits meet one another again for the chance to repair their mutual offenses. God wishes, furthermore, to establish family ties on spiritual basis. Imagine that. Through one life to another, we can transform enemies and friends and family. And we'll be helping each other to reach our primary goal of become a better one. And to support their principles of solidarity, fraternity, and equality as a natural law. Well, with reincarnation, there is no more that idea about preference from God. If someone is born today in a very perfect place with all the materials possibilities, maybe on the next life or the past one, he has all the difficulties, which maybe is a great opportunity to develop spiritual qualities like patience, humility, or be more humble to deal with the difficulties. And this is why we need to trust in God and learn from it and enjoy all the possibilities we have now with our physical condition, with our material conditions, to make this life count as an opportunity we are receiving today to work with this opportunity of repair our offenses, to establish family ties on spiritual basis, and to build that solidarity and fraternity. This is why I like to finish my talk today, bringing that because we can understand, again, this idea in many ways. For sure, I like to bring the idea of reincarnation because this is the topic of today, but also maybe it's time for us to born again today. And how is that? Learning, understanding, putting in practice the gospel teachings in our life, trying to transform our family in spiritual family, our friends, and most of all, our enemies in something else. We can do it now. Let's enjoy our life, this life, and make a difference. If you don't have to today, let's enjoy the opportunity and make the difference. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I hope you guys have enjoyed these teachings, and I'm prepared if you have any questions.
Hi, Rod. Thank you so much for your presentation. It was really, really good and clarified a lot of topics in my mind, and I hope for everyone who was watching you. We have a couple of questions here, but before we read the questions and you answer us, I would like to ask you if the subject that you talked today, we gonna study this on our online course, Get No to Spiritism?
Oh, that's a great question. Thank you. Yes, for sure. Reincarnation is the key of teachings from the Spirit. And for us, right, in our life to change ourselves. Mm-hmm. This is why reincarnation is one of the topics for our course, Get to Know Spiritism. Mm-hmm. And imagine, like today, we just have a few minutes to talk about it, but imagine a full class about this topic with many information and opportunity to discuss about it. Mm-hmm. Yes, this is one of the topics for our course. And yeah, I hope everyone can enjoy this. It's a free course. Mm-hmm. And I think we have the registration link on the chat.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, that's great.
Oh, it's awesome to have the opportunity to start and learn more about reincarnation and many other topics, right?
Exactly.
So now we are going to see the Larissa's questions. She asks, why should we reincarnate? What is the reason? Could you answer this, please?
Yeah, thank you, Larissa. Great questions. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Reincarnation is an opportunity. Sometimes people can think the reincarnation is a punishment, but actually is an opportunity for us to evolve, right? We all have unfinished business in certain ways, right? With our family, with another person. And through the reincarnation, we have a chance to meet them again, solve that problems. Is also an opportunity for us to evolve, learning more, developing new skills, experience different life condition. And this is why we reincarnate.
Mm-hmm. Wow, thank you. And Publio is asking, how many times we have to reincarnate?
Oh, that's a great question, Publio. Thank you. Yes, depends, right? Depends on us. If you're really enjoying this life, we do our best. We change our destiny for better. We practice the teachings from the gospel, all the lessons from Jesus. For sure, we can have a very successful life, and this can maybe prevent us for having many reincarnations, because we can enjoy this moment through this planet and evolve for another one with more evolved people sharing that knowledge. Otherwise, sometimes, as the Spirit's showing us, we can delay that process and stay here for long, right? Because instead of solving problems, we create more. This is why we have to pay attention in our actions today, because what we do today will not only change now, but also the process of many reincarnations in the future.
In the future, it would be awesome if we can learn now to avoid bad situations, right? To have to come many times with a lot of difficulties and bad moments.
Yeah, we are a little bit stubborn, right?
We do. Yeah. We are.
That's true.
Yeah, and Larissa has another question. Why some children come remembering about their past life and others don't?
Yeah, the Spirit say that the reincarnation process is about the duration of that until the finishing. Until we are fully incarnate, it's about 8 years. from when you are born to, like to 8-7 years. And during this process, some children can have a better connection with the spiritual world. Sometimes they see, they have a mediumship really strong. They can see the spirits, they can talk to them. They have past memories a little bit cleared if we compare to the another ones. Sometimes this is useful for them to communicate, can be also a tool to convince others, as we saw in that sample, right, from that girl who was remembering her past life as Anne Frank. We don't know if she was really Anne Frank, or maybe someone who knew it, who have lived in the same place on the same time. But for sure, some children are able to do that, because during that time of reincarnation, they say our vision for the spiritual world is a little bit more broad.
I'm just thinking about one thing, and I'm going to ask you about déjà vu. Do you think it's about reincarnation? Sometimes we are in a situation and we think, oh, I think I've been doing this another time, but I don't remember when. Do you think it's related?
Well, this is a mix, right, into the spiritual knowledge and the psychology. I believe so. We can have that. And I'm not saying about, I already saw this, for example, but probably we already have that life experience. Dr. West say about Catherine, she, at the beginning, I didn't include that part of the video in my presentation, but he said that he starts understanding about past life for Catherine when she starts showing her fears, right? And this is why she first came to the psychologist. And then he find out that her fears, for example, about water, was connected to her past experience with water. And then we can understand, like, she have that feeling about déjà vu, her fear about water, not because she was seeing water, but the experience, the past experience she had, right? This means probably déjà vu is also part of that, having that feeling about have that experience before in past lives, and we identify that situation, that person, that place, and we feel identified with that.
You were talking about fear and water, fear about water, and I was thinking, and I have a very big fear of snakes. Snakes? No, okay. Yeah, no water, but snakes. So I was thinking, oh my, I might be killed by a snake in another life, because my gosh, I cannot see a snake. I start shaking, and heartbeat.
Maybe with hypnosis you can address your past experience, as Dr. West do, right? And maybe you can discover something about snakes. Who knows?
Yeah, so reincarnation, and our course can answer some these and other questions, right?
Exactly. Yeah, there's many topics, not only reincarnation, but also incarnation, our spiritual body, right? Family. Yeah, there are 14 topics to be discussed. Sure, it's a great opportunity.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, we hope everyone who is watching us can join us, and will be this Saturday, right?
Exactly, this Saturday, starting 5:30 East. And this course is online through Zoom. Everyone can access, right? Just a matter of being there. And we have people from all Canada together, united to discuss such great topics.
Thank you, Rod. Thank you so much. Okay, so now we are going to move for the preparation to tonight's spiritual treatment. PASS is the transfusion of spiritual energy with the goal of assisting with our physical, emotional, and mental balance. PASS help us to restore a state of harmony and peace by replacing a negative energy with a healthy, positive energy. In order to receive the best benefits from passes, please follow the audio instructions or remain in prayer. You may close your eyes to help with mentalization. And during the pass, the water you set aside will also absorb the spiritual energy that you and your family can benefit from. So we will now make our prayer in preparation for the Mass. So let's close our eyes once again, elevate our thoughts, and thank you, God, for this great talk we had tonight. May we can think about this life and thinking what we have done and what we need to do to be a better person, to learn from our mistakes, and to evolve. We ask you and the good spirits to protect us, and may everyone can feel better after our spiritual treatment. And we ask you to stay with us today and always. So be it.
Let us now prepare ourselves for the moment of the passes and the magnetization of water. Let's now calm our hearts, breathing in and out. Pay attention to your body. Focus on your breath and let yourself be carried by this energy. Let your thoughts pass by without judging them. Let them flow. Allow this light to be the beacon that guides you, and allow these words to penetrate your energy. Make each word an anchor of gratitude, faith, and trust. With the purpose of healing, which takes away my faith, healing every feeling of separation, of pain, let it all dissolve in this moment, leaving only love, gratitude, and trust. We ask God for the presence of our guardian angel and the friendly spirits who welcome us into this enlightened environment of our Spiritist Center. We open our plexus of love and forgiveness by mentalizing a light surrounding our hearts. Find a quiet and comfortable place to begin the mentalization process. Remove all worries from your thoughts. We ask that during the pass, you breathe slowly and deeply. Let your body relax and surrender yourself to a deep meditation. Calmly imagine divine energies in soft and colorful light surrounding you in an environment of peace and spiritual warmth. Entrusting God with your most intimate desires, raise your thoughts to Jesus and the emissaries of the spiritual environment. The pass begins with the cleansing of your soul. Imagine a waterfall of crystal clear water pouring over us, removing all the feelings that keep you away from faith and trust. Feel the energy of this water bathing you, and deeply breathe in, feeling peace and harmony. Allow this water to wash away all the impurities and spiritual larvae, washing away all the sorrows and resentments, any feelings of hatred and revenge that hold us back and cause us harm, not only from this life, but past ones as well. Now visualize spiritual doctors around you, applying magnetic cleansing passes, sanitizing your spiritual body of all sadness and negative energy. Mentalize these negative thoughts and feelings being washed away, evaporating from your soul, like water evaporating into thin air, and being carried far away from your mind. Surround yourself with the faith that bathes your being, bringing clarity and lucidity, rebalancing every cell in your body. May the water envelop all pain and bring the clarity of opportunity that chooses peace. The answer arises in our hearts, freeing us from all evil and freeing all whom we have caused evil into and who have caused us evil, washing away all the connections that bind us. Even though we may not understand, we are freeing ourselves from all that causes us harm. Feel this cleansing penetrate your soul and release. Now that we are spiritually cleansed, imagine yourself surrounded by the light of love from the hands of Jesus. At this moment, sing words of faith and gratitude, being faithful to the light that exists in me, planted by the zealous Father. Imagine the sunlight that surrounds and enraptures, freeing us from the chains of everything that holds us down, strengthening your faith. Allow yourself to trust in this light, surrender to it, involved in pleasant feelings and feeling relieved to receive the strengthening lights. Mentalize your spiritual mentors now applying divine light for the strengthening of your mind and your emotions, leaving you feeling emotionally revitalized. Let us now mentalize the magnetization of this water. May we mentalize all the friendly spirits, magnetizing this water and filling it with everything that our bodies, minds, and soul need, so that it may be of help to us when we drink it after the Pass. Thank you, God.
Before we make our closing prayer, I would like to thank you everyone for joining us tonight. And we will be back next Tuesday at the same time at 8:30 p.m. East. So now let's do our closing prayer. Thank you, Master Jesus, for this great and blessed night. Thank you for this good energy, for the blessings, for all the treatment everyone who was watching our talk received this night. We ask you to protect our night and this week, every day, everything we need to do. We might have the inspiration, and we think with love every day of our lives. We ask your love to spread all of the world. The people who are sick now in the prison, our friends who are in Brazil or in Canada or whatever, everywhere. And may we don't forget that you are our model, and we need to learn more from you to be a better person every single day of our lives. Please bless us and stay with us today and ever. So be it. Have a good night.
you are. Glowing seeds of love, as our Master Jesus taught. You will see every sign